Welcome back, everyone. Biodun Coker joins me on the program tonight to speak on the structure of grassroots governance in Nigeria, challenges facing grassroots governance in the country, opportunities for improvement as Lagos prepares for Saturday's local government election. Biodun Coker is a political affairs analyst and also running for the chairmanship of Lagos Island local government. Welcome to Politics Tonight, Mr. Coker. Thanks a lot for joining us on the program.
Thanks for having me, Jumoke.
Right. So, a local government chairman is the first point of contact between citizens and government. But it looks like it's a different pattern here in the country. And I say that because, in this part of the world, it looks like this is because we think every problem, every challenge is bedeviling our nation ends and starts with the federal government. So most times it then gets questioned. They do not see the need to be accountable to the people.
Yep.
For you, why is grassroots governance so important?
Thank you very much for having me. If you look at the constitution of the country, of Nigeria, we've got 3 tiers of government: federal, state, and local government. The local government is meant to be the government that the people at the grassroots relate to the most. And the constitution has provided enshrined powers and duties to the local government. But over time, it's been a case of people looking at federal government, looking at the state government for everything. And you can't really blame people. It's just because of the quality of leadership at the local government level. Okay. But all of that is changing. And you can see in Lagos State that is changing. And
how bad has it been?
I mean, first and foremost, you have to, I think before we can even talk about grassroots governance or local government governance, you need to look at the people that actually fought for democracy. People like ourselves are able to say, oh, we want to aspire to be chairman of a local government. It starts from the people that fought for the Fourth Republic, the democracy we're all celebrating and enjoying today. And our President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was at the forefront of that struggle. And if you look at our president, one major policy that he rolled out is the financial autonomy for local government, because he knows the importance and he knows that there's no way we can get the dividend of democracy if the local government are not functioning the way they should be functioning.
I understand that. Another challenge local government administration has faced over the years is that most LGA councillors do not understand the fundamental functions of local governments. Am I correct?
Yeah, and
How do we address that?
I mean, it's changing.
And they even know that this is a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's changing. You need to look at the structure. You need to look at what's happening now. You could see the number of people that are aspiring to be chairmen and councillors. I just heard something there about 452 aspirants that were cleared for chairman. And if you look at that, you can see the quality and caliber of people aspiring to be chairman now. And it's going to be a shame if the state or the party gets it wrong in putting wrong pegs and wrong holes in the right holes. That needs to be addressed. That needs to change. What we're looking at now is people want to change. People want people that are capable, know what they're doing, people that mean well for their local government, that have actually got solutions, people-oriented solutions. People are yearning for that. So I think it's changing. And if you look at our state, the state government has rolled out a lot of initiative to support local governments. I mean, if you look at Nigeria, I don't know about other states, but in Lagos State, the party that introduced CDA is the APC government. And CDA is meant to be an official 4th tier of government. And the idea of that is to complement the effort of the local government. And I think with time, and that is very crucial, we get it right this time around, because you don't want to put people that can't complement the effort of the federal government, the state government.
I'm talking about getting it right. Nigeria has been striving or has been struggling, doing all it can to achieve electoral integrity. How important is grassroots mobilization?
Very, very important. Very, very, very important. And you can't, there's this saying that there's apathy in the system. When there are local government elections, people don't turn out. Now, I don't even think it's only local government election. You can look at the state, the general elections for the president or the House of Assemblies or everything. People don't really turn out. And that's because people feel like their votes don't count. People feel like people they've entrusted with their votes, people they've lent their vote to, have disappointed them. And if you look at the last election and look at what's happening now, people want to change. And that change is pretty much now. And that all of that is going to happen. All of that is going to happen pretty much imminently.
All right, then. Let's talk about you. I mean, many people are hearing your name for the first time in this race. Why should they trust you with leadership?
Why should they trust me with leadership?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. I think I welcome the opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Biodun Coker. I'm a chartered accountant, a fellow of the ACCA, and I've been running my accountancy practice for over 14 years. And as an accountant, some of the code of conduct that we hold on to is integrity, honesty, and professionalism. With those principles, there's no way you can go wrong. If you don't adhere to those principles, there's no way you can be trusted with finances. You can be trusted. I've supported businesses, I've supported people, I've grown businesses. I know how to manage finances. I know how to grow businesses, and that is what I do. And also provide solutions. In terms of trust, it's only looking at what has Biodun Coker done before now. I may be new this is my first time aspiring for politics, but go to Lagos Island, you can see what we've done. You can ask people what Biodun Coker has contributed and impacted into the local government, and people will tell you, yes, this is what we've done.
You've talked about trust, you've talked about integrity, you've talked about your academic background. Are these qualities enough? How close are you to your people? Do you even understand the challenges the people of Lagos Island are facing?
Yes, 100%. I've said it in many places. I'm not just aspiring because I want power. I'm standing up for the local government that I care for, where I'm from. I grew up in that local government. I was raised in that local government. One of the things we did is we said, we've got...
Where exactly? Where exactly were you raised?
Where was I raised? Ologbo area of Lagos Island, Biodun area. I was born in Oluwole.
Okay.
And we said we're going to start addressing the issues within the local government. We're able to train over 900 students on ICT, going through 8 weeks in program. We did that. Healthcare is another big issue. A lot of people come to me right from a very tender age. They come for support. We've been able to partner with Lagos State government to roll out healthcare policy for over 1,000 people. We've been able to engage CDAs, provide training for CDAs. We've been able to, I've met with everybody that needs to be met. I've had meetings, talk about artisans, talk about religious organizations, talk about market associations. I've had meetings, I've understand their concerns, and all of that concerns, we provide solution to it in our manifesto. And some of these things will start manifesting if I'm given the opportunity to actually be in power.
I'm sure you're not the only one who has done that for the people. But let's talk about political dynasties. And I want to get your reaction to a warning issued by Baba Olusi, Prince Tajuddin Olusi. He has raised the alarm over what he called, or he describes as a troubling trend. I do not want to misquote him. So he says top political figures in the APC are pushing their sons into local government chairmanship race. Your dad's name was mentioned. So what is your reaction to this political development within party politics?
It's a shame, and I saw that. I've had meetings with Baba Olusi. He's my dad. He's my dad's dad.
Okay.
You know, he said things that are similar to that, but I think it was actually misrepresented. I've addressed that. If you didn't ask it, there's no way I'll be speaking to it. But I've addressed it, and I've said, I don't think there's anything wrong. If every child looks up to their parents, if my dad is a pastor, I might want to become a pastor. If my dad is a businessman, I may want to become a businessman. Why should it be wrong for a politician child to want to aspire to be in power, to go into politics? And as long as you're not doing it based on dynasty, you're not saying, it's a legacy. If it's based on merit, if it's based on people-centered solutions, and you're prepared for it, and you mean well, then there's no problem. So, I think Baba Olusi, who I've owed an highest esteem, was actually misquoted.
But probably let me ask you this question. How well, your dad was a vice chairman.
You're talking in the 80s. Okay. I was a toddler.
All right, because I wanted to ask
so I don't know
if
how
his worry was about whether or not he performed well. I mean, this is a cause for worry for many elder statesmen. But is anything wrong with that message, or you're just drawn to it because your dad's name was mentioned? What exactly is it?
No. I like my dad. My dad's record speaks for itself in the local government. And you're talking in the 80s. I was a toddler. In the Fourth Republic, my dad has not held any office. He hasn't had any political, and has been a party member. He's been true a party member of the APC. He's done a lot of things for the party. He has free magazines that he's been doing from the AD days for the party. That's his contribution to the party. I was part of people that would distribute those magazines at all events when our president was still a governor. So my dad has not ended in office. So how could anybody say such a thing and link my dad and say, oh, it's a dynasty? That's wrong. It's wrong. And if you look at the campaign we've run, you can ask anyone, go to Lagos Island. I did a declaration and I had over 5,000 people turn up for me. And even at the declaration, I was asking people, did we give you money? They said, no, you didn't give us money.
You didn't give them money?
There's no way.
Or you didn't give them enough money?
We've impacted lives. I told you we trained over 890 students on ICT. They went for 8 weeks. They came with their families. We gave 1,000 healthcare policies to people for 1 year. They came with their families. These are all people, organic followership. We have over 2,000 of those 5,000 that turned out to be people within the age of 18 and 23 with new PVCs, people that are rooting for change in Lagos Island local government, people that want to be APC members. This is my contribution. This is what I'm bringing to the party, and this is what I'm bringing to local governance in Lagos Island.
Let's deviate a bit. What's your perception or what's your assessment, what's your opinion on the prevalence of money politics in Nigerian politics?
I mean, politics is expensive all over the world. And that's why you saw how much President of the United States raised in trying to win an election. It's all over the world. And it's not about giving people money. It's just, I've done it, I'm doing it. I had a campaign office. I'm the only candidate in Lagos Island with a campaign office. That campaign office, we paid for it for 1 year. I've paid for another year, and I just paid last week for another 1 year. You have meetings across the 10 wards. People are coming to meetings. You've got to provide seats. You've got to provide water. That's where you spend money. Then you talk about publicity. You talk about money. It plays a strong role. But in terms of inducing people to do anything, I think people are wiser.
Do you politicians call it inducement? You don't call it inducement?
Mobilization.
Mobilization fees.
I think mobilization, there's a difference between mobilization and inducement. People think that you actually go to leaders and you give them money. That doesn't happen. I haven't experienced it. It's
because
based
you haven't
on
experienced it does not mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah, but I think you can sell yourself in other ways. You can show that you've got what it takes to govern. You can sell yourself in other ways, show your ability, show your competence, and I think people would appreciate that more.
All right. Let's go back to Bioduns' several warnings, because he said a lot.
Yeah.
He criticized the growing influence of money in grassroots politics, and that was why I asked you that question. He says it's now common to see aspirants offering money for endorsements, even when they've not held a leadership role in the community. He says if you truly want to serve, your track record should speak from school days to community life. So I want us to talk about your track record. What personal experience have shaped your understanding of the challenges in Lagos Island today?
In Lagos Island, growing up in Lagos Island, like I said, I don't shy away from my dad's role in Lagos Island. My dad is a community man through and through, and we were raised with that. My dad would always support people. In doing that, we could relate to the challenges facing local government. In just aspiring, within the last 2 years, I can tell you the number of problems in Lagos Island that are alarming. I said I wrote out a program that was going to train 1,000 children on CBT, JAM CBT. And we said, okay, let's do that. We trained 1,000 just because we want them to pass their JAM exams. In doing that...
You trained them from your personal post?
Personal post. I have a center with over 39 computers, and we train kids 30 in the morning, 30 in the afternoon, 30 in the evening. We've done that for 14 months. We've been able to train over 890, another 1,000 for CBT. Yeah, this is where I'm going with that. We train them saying, look, we want you guys to pass your JAM exams. It's CBT. How many schools in Lagos Island have got computers, functioning computers? We said, let's train you. These people will come into the center and they take 2 hours just to understand using the mouse. Now the results are out. A lot of people failed. And in Lagos Island, I think it's a national disaster now. Everyone is talking about it. But even in Lagos Island, I figured it out. This is like a month ago, because only out of 1,000 we trained, we said only 50 passed, and they marginally passed. So that's just one example of a problem in the local government. Healthcare is another big issue in the local government. Even service delivery at the local government level. Who do you see? Who do you speak to? You want your birth certificate, is going to take you months, and you need to know someone to do something for you. It doesn't have to be that.
I'm even more concerned about waste management and congestion, which are big issues in Lagos Island today. But if you could implement one major change today to improve local governance in Lagos, what would it be?
For me, I think is to change the orientation in the civil service.
Of the civil service?
Yeah, I think that needs to change. And people need to know that they're serving the people, and they shouldn't try to lord themselves over anything.
What are the challenges?
The major challenge we face there is, if you're talking about waste management, I was in uni when I was running a business in Lagos Island, cleaning the streets of Lagos Island. The big problem we have there is you have loads of markets, stores and shops in Lagos Island. They come in the morning, do their waste, they leave, the waste are there. Weekends, who clears it? They may pay some people to clear it and all that, but the waste is still there. So people talk about that. But when I was doing it, then I'm talking over 20 years ago, this is me. I had cat pushers clearing the streets of Lagos Island. I had revenue collected that would go on a Friday, clear all the waste. We were doing that. I could do that then. Imagine if I'm given an opportunity to do it now, because I know what it takes to do it. And it's my idea is to have community-based cleaning businesses.
But must you be a local government chairman to fix those issues?
No, I'm doing my bit already to solve these problems in the local government. I'm tackling education.
So why must you be Lagos Island local government chairman?
To do all of these things?
Yes.
No, because I can do more. I can reach a lot more people, and I can actually inspire a change that is required that people are yearning for. And you can see it is obvious in the campaign we've run and the number of people that actually want to change in local government, and they're all rooting for this.
All right. So on this consensus candidacy process, because I heard the deputy governor saying, we love all of them, but just one person will emerge. Yeah. Are you that person? Yeah,
you need to bet on yourself. I'm confident of the campaign we've run. I'm confident on the way I've been able to navigate the landscape. I've been able to sell myself to.
So also, what is your opinion on this internal party selection?
Yeah, I mean, the party has a constitution. It could either be consensus, it could be indirect primaries or direct primaries. The party is saying we're going to go with consensus candidates. Where there's no consensus candidate, let's go to primaries. I don't think there's anything wrong there, and it's all about politics. You need to know how to play the game.
So if you do not emerge as that consensus candidate, what would be your next line of action? No,
but I'm a party man. Party supremacy works, and all we have to do is, support whoever emerges, throw our weight behind the person, because at the end of the day, it's still the APC government, and we want the best for that. But also, we hold the government accountable.
You think your dad's influence may work for you?
I don't think my dad has that much influence within the leadership of APC anymore in Lagos Island. I don't think so. But if he does, fine, and I welcome it on, but I need all the supports to be able to get that.
All right, let's talk about voter apathy, because it's very concerning that people don't come out for local government election. I mean, that's like grassroots politics. So it only makes sense that people come out to choose the next local government election. What do you think is wrong?
Oh, you mean people don't come out to vote?
Yes, voter apathy at the local government level. What do you think is wrong, and how do we address this as a nation?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, people don't trust that their votes count. People have entrusted people with their votes, and they've disappointed them. Hence the reason why they're like, what's the point? It's a waste of time. But all of that is going to change. You could look at the turnout now, the number of people aspiring to be chairman now. Then you could then look at the number of people. I've run a good campaign. We've been able to reach out. I have a campaign office that every week for the last 14 months is always packed with at least 300 people every Wednesday. And apart from having ward meetings across the 10 wards, every Wednesday you have that. 300 at the minimum, you have that. And these are people that want to change. Around the declaration I did, I said over 5,000 people turned out. You can't, those people are going to vote. If they're not going to vote for, even if they don't like the party, I don't think so. We brought them to the party. Because of Biodun Coker, they will vote APC. Because of Biodun Coker, the turnout is going to be right. And I've been telling my team, as soon as we get a ticket, we're going to change that perception. People are going to come out and vote for Biodun Coker when the time is right.
I mean, your confidence is profounding. And it's always very easy to say all of these things when you're not there yet.
There's
the
before and after.
The bigger difference is when you're there, or when you've emerged to become whatever position you're aspiring to become. Now, local governments are often accused of poor accountability. I wonder what you would do to ensure transparent use of public funds.
Yeah, I'm an accountant, and what I do best is accounting for funds, utilizing funds, spending it properly, making sure that your money goes far. That is all I do best. If you gave me 1 naira today, I could turn it to 1,000 naira. That is what I know how to do best. I'm going to make sure. One of the things I have in manifesto is Lagos Island Open Books. The idea of Lagos Island Open Books is to have a dashboard that tracks our budget, that tracks our expenditure, that tracks our inflow and outflow, and all of that is going to be transparent. All of that would also be at a quarterly, and it's going to be at the ward level. We're going to make sure that people get involved. one of the things I'm also preaching, I'm also saying, look, we're going to roll out is, one of the things I want to roll out is having e-governance, having a portal where we're naming it Lagos Island Data Access Administration. All of that is to ensure that citizens and residents' engagement with the local government is seamless, and we're going to introduce that. We'll do that. And also, one of the things is holding people accountable. We're going to ensure that there's quarterly, or maybe I call it periodic, town hall meetings where I'm going to have all the councillors.
Right.
I'm going to have my.
But as an accountant, so what economic model framework do you intend to come up with to generate wealth and not just tap or collect from the federal government? Yeah,
that's the thing. I'm an advocate. If you look at the mission statement in the manifesto, is I want to run a local government that is self-sufficient of FAC allocation from the federal government. When the allocation comes, we should be using that on capital projects. Within the local government, there's a lot of leakages in the revenue coming to the local government, and it's going to the wrong hands. We're going to block that, and it's easy. You block that, you have more money to implement policies and programs. So that is going to go. There are other initiatives whereby, for example, I mentioned something about revenue generating through signage. That also, I have something on there as well. Also looking at having an open book policy whereby everybody that needs to pay are actually paying seamlessly. No one is paying a third party to pay the local authority and to pay the local government. All of that we're going to eliminate.
The issue of multiple taxation is so rampant. How do you intend to address that in 1 minute, in 30 seconds rather? Time.
We thank God for that because we can see that our president has done a lot of work in the area of tax reforms, and that is only going to cascade down. The bills that you need to pay, the rates that you need to pay, you're going to know from the onset. You don't need anybody coming to you. And we're going to eradicate that because it's simple. We simplify everything. We simplify everything, have community engagement. If it's artisan association, market association, and even any bills that you need to pay, you would know how much you're paying, and you're not paying a dime more.
Great conversation from our end. We can only wish you the very best on Saturday. Thanks a lot for joining us. Biodun Coker, political affairs analyst, aspirant on Saturday's local government election. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now let's take a break, and when we return our attention to advancing women's political participation in Nigeria. Please stay with us, everyone.